You putting that hose on there?
I don't think I am. I don't think I am.
You know, if you had to, it's not the end of the earth. You can get to that fairly easy.
Yep.
Yep.
Welcome to SNG. Jones is back in the garage, and we're getting ready to put this rear cylinder on. And I think that should be an easy one, right?
Should be. You know how that happens, though. When they say it's easy, you look out.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx ourselves.
You never know. You never know.
I'll let you do it.
I'll hold
It's
it.
making me work. So, anyhow, we, as you saw in the earlier video, I found out that the rear cylinder is why it took this brake out.
Cylinder was froze up.
Cylinder was froze up, ate that front pad, ate the drum up, so on and so forth. So what we're doing is this cylinder, let me zoom in here. This cylinder is about as simple. Well, I don't want to, like I said, we don't want to jinx ourselves, but it goes on with 2 bolts. And those 2 bolts has your bleeder, sticks right through here. These 2 bolts that have washers on them, so I'm not going to put Loctite on them. How's she look back there?
Looks good. Looks good.
I don't know if that centers.
There ain't much slop in there.
Much slop in there, is
How's the brake bleeder look? Look like it's in the center of the hole?
Yeah, a little bit at the bottom, but I don't think there was a lot of slop in there, was there?
No.
I don't think so. I'll double check just in case. Okay, so I'll bring it up just a little bit. Seems like everything aftermarket, you have to. Now, I always over tighten things.
Yeah, don't break it off there. It's got a lock washer on it. Snug her down.
So she's snugged down. So this here is the hose. I did buy a new hose just in case. I'm trying to keep everything original if I can, so I'll have it. Another thing I'll let you know that I should have known better. See this little square, 3/8 square? This is that cam that wants everything. You get your brake shoes on, you adjust your shoes, right? And you can, and it was really, I lubed it down, and I just kind of wallowed it out with an opening box wrench. Really easy to do, and I didn't think twice about that. And if anybody wants to, I mean, why I didn't think about this before, I don't have a clue.
I never thought of that either.
Right there's your 3/8 inch. Look at this.
Boom.
And you will not wallow that out. And I got something that I can turn it with. So I wallowed this one out. I ended up pounding it back on so I can get it on. But if you don't want to, smash and booger up your ends like I did, be smart. Do something like that.
Use your 3/8 extension.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
that's good thinking there, Bubba.
Well, you know what? It was a day late and $1 short. But that's how we all learn.
Could you get a 6-point socket on there? Did you try that?
Yeah, but it
It's
just doesn't get enough, enough bite. I mean, I had a good Craftsman wrench. You know, I wasn't using a cheap wrench. So this hose hooks on. It's got this banjo bolt, and I just dropped the washer. And it has 2 copper gaskets. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit and we'll lube it up, and we'll put this back in. So we'll be right back here in a second. All right, Jonesy. So I was getting ready to put the same copper washers on, and Jonesy shamed me and digging up new ones. Probably the right thing to do. So we got a couple of these copper washers and this banjo bolt. I cleaned up the threads. I'm gonna drop one. You know what? I don't know if anybody else does this, but I watch this gentleman called Mike's Garage.
Yep.
And Mike's Garage, this old guy that, well, I don't want to call him an old guy, but he's a guy that's been around, paid his dues, was a motorcycle mechanic for years, really has his shit together on knuckles and pans and shovels, probably knows everything. But he is a lover of lithium grease.
For what reason?
You know what, he uses it on certain gaskets, and he uses it on carbs and anything. He just says it's, you know, it keeps from, you know, it allows it to spin.
Okay.
And doesn't like gold to itself, like, you know, and so I just put a little, so not knowing any better and listening to a guy that knows a lot more than I decided to listen to what he says, and I use it. So if you choose to use it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. It makes me feel good. So those gaskets, the bolt that just went through this brake line, bolt, copper gasket on this side, and then in. And I don't have, on this whole book manual, there are 0 torque specs.
For that.
On everything. I haven't found torque specs. I found some things online, and I kind of, you know, use the rules of thumb on 1/4 inch fasteners and 3/8 fasteners and stuff like that. But for the most part,
like our buddy Bill would say, Harley tight.
Harley tight's what he says. And Bill's been around a long time, and he's wrenched a lot of bikes. He's been out west a handful of times. He's paid his dues, so I'm going with Bill.
Harley tight.
Harley tight. Bill, hope you're doing good, buddy. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Need to stop by. I think I can always go. I can always go a little
bit more. You remember just smashing that copper in there.
That's all you're doing.
You're seating that copper down in there good.
So that's that. So I'll obviously have to bleed that. And my buddy DB has this vacuum. I need to pick one of those up.
Vacuum.
It's really nice. You hook up your air compressor and it draws, and all you have to do is fill up your master cylinder, your storage, and let her rip. So brake shoes are next. From the back side.
What was you doing when I got here?
Your brake shoes? Like this. I took these brake shoes, and they were flat. They came up here, and they were flat. And
they were at a 90.
They were at a 90, and I beveled on the grinder, a little bevel on each side. Now, I've seen people do that. That's how the ones were that I took off. So I figured, you know what, it keeps them from grabbing. I went ahead and beveled them. So that's how they go. I'm going to reset this camera up and we'll show you how we put those brake pads on. And I'm going to run them in the drum and see how true they are. So we'll reset this up and be back. All right, Joan, so I've got a close-up of those shoes down there is what I'm showing on now, just how they're set up. So you want to show them where that spring goes in.
All right, the spring goes just like that right there.
I can't see.
Oh, sorry.
There you go, buddy.
So it goes in the back side of that one and the front side of that one. So it goes in that hole there and this one here.
So the slot on the left and the hole clear to the right.
Correct. And that is one tough spring, let me tell you.
Okay.
So then you got to take these right here, these clips. This is what holds your shoe to your backing plate.
And show them those cams, the inside cam right there.
This right here is what it, when you turn that from the back side, that thing turns around. This
is what pushes the shoe out to adjust the
yes, and you could see where it's always been riding on it. There's a little notch on there. That's where that thing's been riding.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just keep turning as your shoes wear. There's no self-adjusters. You're the self-adjuster. You keep turning that, and that adjusts your shoes out till obviously it cams all the way around, and then you're out of travel.
So right now you want the one on the left facing toward 9 or facing in, and the one on the right facing in to make them as
correct,
small as you can.
As small as you can.
All right. So there we go. So now, what?
This clip here is what holds your shoe to the backing plate.
Hold on. I'm having difficulties with this camera.
This is a tough job too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So you got to get that rectangle up in there. So you got to get that in there. Those things sit in there and they'll sit there flat.
Yep.
Want to make sure they're in all the way.
Yeah, I got you.
And we found this is the best way to get these shoes on here is go ahead and put that top spring on like that.
So you're putting that in the first on the cylinder on that side.
Yep, and then snapping that up into that right there.
Until you have this brake shoe touching that tab.
Yep.
Now you know it's all the way back in.
And then on this side, you got to get your, oh boy. Yeah, get that back in there, make sure it stays in there. Get that in that
without tearing your boot.
Yeah, right now we don't have any brake fluid in it, so it can compress all the way. And then pull that one up and in.
Now's the hard part, huh?
Now we were fighting this bottom spring, and it goes like this right here. And we were trying to avoid taking this off. This is what keeps this spring.
I don't have any tab washers, and usually once you bend those tab washers down.
I don't think this is one piece, Grant.
Exactly.
So if we bust that off there.
I got to get a new piece.
So I say we
fight that spring on there,
fight that spring on there, and the best way we've found so far is taking a pair of vice grips to it. So
I'm going to jump down here. It's taping now, and I am going to get on it with a pair of needle nose vice grips.
And we got it in there. We didn't want to snap it in to show you, so we haven't found anything on YouTube yet that shows you doing this.
Right.
So you go ahead. I'll try and keep my arms out of the way.
And yeah, make sure you don't knock your bike off your stand.
Come pull down on it because you're closer when you go down. There you go. You're getting there.
Okay.
One more.
Ready? Boy.
It's amazing how strong that spring is.
That spring is really, really strong. I want to get it a little bit more.
If anybody's got a good idea how you get that thing on there, boy.
I've seen a tool, and it'd be nice if we had something a little bigger, but ready?
Yep.
You know, can you get that light and tell me how close I am? That'll make me pull harder. If I know I'm close, I can't even tell where I'm going.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. Go. Right there. Right. Now, it's in the hole. It started in there. I would take the vice grips off. Now I would try and squeeze it to get it to snap in there. Try and stay out of everybody's way. So you can see this. It's going. You got there. It went.
All right.
There it went. It snapped in there. Tell you what, you'd be up a creek if you had to do this on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So you could see. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna show them. Oh, how that cam works. Now that those things are up on there.
Okay. You're gonna do this right side?
Yeah.
Okay. If you keep your eye on that tab.
What you did was you took a 3/8 extension. It fits over here.
Yeah.
And then we put a socket on this end. That way we can work this thing.
See how that's pushing this out?
I'm gonna keep going.
That's as far out as it goes. Now you're coming back in. There you go. So when you go to take your drum off, you want to make sure that you're all the way in so your pads aren't up in the grooves of your drum and you're fighting that drum off. Now I did have mine to where I could see that they were down and I still fought that drum.
Well, that's because I think your rivets were.
Just because my rivets were so deep into that drum.
I think the best way to do it is to spin your wheel and then start turning this until you feel it drag, and then you'll be able to tell where it's in the most.
Yeah. So why don't you turn that until you're all the way in again? We'll see. I think you're about there, Jonesy.
All right.
Okay, come the other way. Right there. Okay.
You think it's in as far? It's in as far as it's going to go.
It's in as far as it can go.
Yeah, you want to. I think you want to make sure we're sitting on on these right here.
Yep.
We're not outside. We're sitting where the brake shoe has 3 spots where it sits.
Yep. So we know our clips are on good. We know that our cams are adjusted to where the brakes are as tight as they can in.
And the springs are on. There's only 2 springs.
And the springs are on there. And now what I want to do is why don't you bring me that brake
Here's your drum.
drum. I'm going to put that drum in here. Does that look like it went in?
Yep.
Okay, so the trick now is to probably what I'll do is I'll end up, I think I was able to bolt the wheel on. You're supposed to be able to spin that, open those brake drums, or not the drums, but the actual shoes, and spin it to where you're sure that you're not hitting on some high sides. Now, I don't know if it would end up glazing. You'd think they'd wear down the seat all by themselves, right? You would think.
So what you're wanting to do is put it up on there and spin it.
Spin it.
See where the shoes are wearing.
And what you do is you actually can put some sandpaper inside, and you can get them to seat the whole square inch of the pad, which gives you better braking. Now, do people really do that? I mean, I'm assuming some people do. So if you're watching and you've got something that you do that's a little trick, by all means, let us know. But right now, I think what we'll probably do is put them together and give them a try. Now, one thing someone did say is, let me back this off a little bit. What somebody did say that I heard, Jones, is let me move this back here. What somebody said that I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but they said when you do get it fired up and you ride it for the first time, to don't crank on the brake and get them to glaze.
Just slowly.
To gradually bring your, and help work that in to where you're kind of self-seating it. Again, I've never tried that. I'm in uncharted territory. So that's how you put the brake drum on, and also
The shoes.
the shoes, right?
See, I got the original shoes on my 1970. I've checked them. They're good shape, but I've never replaced them. So
there you go. So if you get a chance, step on that flower bug, smack that bell, beat that monkey, whatever you're supposed to do. Appreciate you watching. If you ride them, wrench them, but only if you want to. See ya.
see ya. All right.